guys, thank you so much for joining us on the episode of Creative Maestro. And number one, I just have to say, amazing video marketing video, right? Not only that, you've simplified the process of becoming a digital entrepreneur in 3 minutes. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you know, so some people got mad at me, just people in different industries, because I posted that, because it kind of gives people the quickest way from A to Z without having to include any middlemen and things like that. For any beginner, it's great.
Yeah, like it's honestly just a genius idea. Like, you know, people had spent so much time thinking about actually doing something instead of just doing it. So if we can deliver content as quickly as possible and we can give them the ability to just make it, then we cut out all the legwork and allow them to make something really quickly.
Absolutely. It, again, like you said, A to Z, and it's the most efficient way. And like you said, it's going to get people out of their comfort zone, because I know for me, I always struggle with being a perfectionist, because if it's not the way I want to do it, then I don't want to do it. But you're not going to come out the gate being, you know, at Kobe's level, RIP Kobe, you know, it's just not going to happen. You got to work your way up to that. He had his air balls, right? It happens.
Yeah. And the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is today, there are so many types of software and templates out there online that you can essentially make yourself into a team without having any special skills, just knowing where to find this. And this is one of the things that we do very well is we know this is our job. We know everything out there. So if we can provide that to people on a silver platter and say, here is a tool A, tool B, tool C, go make your make your product, go make your brand.
100%. It's like, you know, you have to be Batman, right? You have to be like, all right, well, I have this tool, I have this tool, I have this tool. Like, now let's go fight crime and like actually get into the weeds of it, because it gets, you know, it's easy to start, right? But then you start getting into the more meticulous type of things.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And those meticulous things are the exact things that slow you up. It's the minutia. You just got to remove it from your mind and just go for it. You got to take action. It's kind of like going live on IG. It brought a lot of people out of their comfort zone, and now they're getting their return on investment with followers.
Yeah. One big thing I would caution people not to do is, if they're starting a business, well, first of all, it stops a lot of people from getting into businesses. That's the amount of money that it costs, right? But if someone, let's say, has a few $1,000s or they have a few hundred, whatever their budget is, you pour all that into creating your brand, you have zero left over to market those products to the people, and then you're stuck with all that overhead. This is what happens to a lot of mom and pop shop restaurants. Let's say they're a great cook, they have a great recipe, they all combine their money, let's say the family gets involved, they open a restaurant, now they have a mortgage or like a loan, they have a debt from all the products that they bought, the kitchen, the food, and they don't have a way to market it. And they go under, sadly, because they don't have any money left over to market.
You know, and that's definitely, you know, the MVP, right? You need a minimal viable product coming from like the startup and the tech world. You need something where you have the very basic core functionality. Will people buy this?
Right.
And then you can then take the scientific method and then deduce, well, what features, what things do I need? What things do I want? Because like, why create and spend a lot of money for something that people don't want? You want to find your market first and then move forward, because a lot of people get stuck in design and then they spend all their money in design for a product no one wants.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we teach a lot is test the waters as cheaply as you can while still having a good looking product, because you don't want to hit the market with a bad product that's cheap. You can have a good looking product that's low barrier to entry and say, hey, if it works, now let's pour more money into it. One thing I always say is, no matter how good marketers we think we are, at the end of the day, we don't know what anyone wants to buy until we test. And we have analytics, and then you figure out what your customers want.
Because the market will tell you. The market will tell you if people want it or if they don't. And the thing that people get stuck on is how emotionally invested they get into it.
Right.
Business, you can't get emotionally invested. You have to just be logical and be like, well, this may not work. Let's try something else. And it's that quick pivot. It's that quick turnaround, what makes successful entrepreneurs over non-successful entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and I know we're kind of keep going on, but I want to say this one thing very quickly, because it's very important, especially if you're out there, you're thinking about starting a brand, is have a filter. And what I mean by that is have someone who you trust, who knows what they're talking about, look over your work and be a filter. Perfect example. I have crazy ideas every day I wake up. And the problem with what I do is I have the ability to make that into a very quick product within an hour or 2 or 3 or 4. So the other day I woke up and I had an idea about something. I woke up at 7 in the morning. I text him at 10:30, 3.5 hours of me working on this product. I said, hey, I have a new product. I have a new thing. It came out. I spent the last 3.5 hours making it. I made the website. I made everything. And he looks at it and he goes, what?
Hell is this? And I'm just like, dude, like, great. This looks wonderful. I'm very proud of you, but like, why would someone even want this? How do we even like market this? And then we had to like restructure to see how we could like tool it out and if it could work.
So essentially all it took was him giving me some kind of like objective discourse, and I looked at the product and then it hit me how stupid it was. But I had that filter. So anyway, I say all that to say that if you're going to start a product or a business, whatever you're offering, have a filter, have someone look over it, give you who's very honest with you, not a yes man, or not someone who's a hater, because haters will always tell you that there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Get someone who's
a realist, someone that's going to be like honest, that knows the market, that knows the ability to say, well, this is good and this is not so good, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a necessity. I mean, that's why I feel like people get mentors for that reason, so they can show them exactly what to do.
Yeah, and that's actually why we created Discord on our Let's Grow Podcast.com, right? It's something where so you can communicate and say, hey guys, I have this idea. What do you group of marketers think? Because if the group can tell you, yo, that's great, or hey, you know, we may want to retool this to launch it in a different way, then having that like that sounding board is so valuable.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is something that I wish the Discord, if people don't know out there, it's like it's sort of like a WhatsApp, similar to that, except there's groups that are specific, like a Reddit messaging group, I guess I could say. And in ours, we talk about just specifically everything under the sun, but we tailor to digital marketing and business marketing. And the reason why I think it's very beneficial is because we can't tell you between us two, and I'm sure anyone listening out there, when you're learning something new, how many mistakes you make, how much wasted time you go through. And if I had a Discord when I started, and somebody could just say, Fabian, that's not a good idea. I already tried that, and I wasted 2 months of my life trying it out. That would immediately put me light years ahead of where I was. So it's a great tool utilized where everyone in there has the same mindset to help have people say exactly that, either be a filter or give you like a pitfall to not fall into.